Tonight isn't about fixing your whole life. It's about turning one small knob and noticing how the room sounds different. I'm you, just a few steps ahead, with 10 letters from the future. Not grand declarations, but street-level directions. How to pause without disappearing. How to speak the true thing kindly. How to choose rest without feeling like you've quit. If you're standing at a crossroads, take a breath. Let these notes lower the noise until you can hear your own life again. Ready? We'll start with something simple that changes everything. 10 extra minutes. Story 1. Stay 10. More minutes. You are already half gone. Coat on, hand on the knob. A polite exit rehearsed like a line you've practiced too many times. The room behind you hums with that low, unnameable electricity. A night that might be nothing, might be something. You've trained yourself to leave early because leaving early protects energy, and protecting energy is wise, except when it is fear wearing comfort's sweater. Step away from the door and change your angle to the room. Lean against the counter, perch on a chair arm, stand by the window and watch the party in reflection. Bodies are honest cartographers. Maps appear without flattery. If your shoulders drop by even a notch, if your jaw unlocks like a stuck drawer, then you're not done here. Pick one person within reach and ask something unpolished that no resume knows how to answer. What tasted good today? Or what almost went wrong and then didn't? Watch for the micro glimmer before persona boots up. There, that quick blink where their face looks like itself. Follow it. The conversation won't be cinematic. That's good. Reality shows up in scuffed shoes. Somewhere between the sink and the playlist, a quiet job is waiting. Stacking plates, refilling water, cueing a song at a humane volume. Take it. Doing the small, necessary job turns you into a hinge. Doors move around hinges. Someone wanders over, grateful for cups and clarity, and says, "Thank you." And then, "By the way," which is how most sentences that change your life begin. Now, audit the story in your head. You arrived carrying a script. No one here gets me. This is a waste of time. I should be home polishing competence. Revise in the present tense. Right now, I'm learning who laughs with their whole face. Right now, I remember I like people more than performing a person. Stories steer. Write yours toward the truth the room is offering. Slip outside for 3 breaths, where the air has no opinion. If relief arrives like a wave, go home. If the night behind the door feels warmer than the street, return. You're not trapped by either choice. You're choosing with feedback instead of habit. Make one small promise to future us before minute 10 ends. 2 follow-up texts tomorrow. Bring a real dessert next time. Ask the host how they built this circle. Micro-promises are scaffolding. Keep enough of them, and you will discover you've built a balcony. Somewhere to stand where you can see farther than your fear. Decide. There are only 2 kinds of leaving. Leaving empty and leaving complete. Empty leaving tastes like escape. Complete leaving tastes like closure. If you can't tell, ask your feet. Do they want to run or walk? Running means fear. Walking means done. If you stay, you may witness the tiny scene that justifies the whole night. 2 strangers admitting they're both scared to start. Someone answering "me too." A plan born at the sink, with a damp towel and sincerity. If you go deliberately. Text thanks before you reach the corner. Bless the room you're exiting. May the right people find each other. If I am one of them, may our orbits cross again. Half of what matters in our life arrived. because we didn't sprint back to the curated safety of solitude. The other half arrived because we did leave, and the quiet we chose made room for tomorrow's good work. Tonight, stay 10, then choose. Both outcomes are adult and dignified. Habits are excellent drivers on highways. They are terrible drivers at intersections. This is an intersection. Signal, check your mirrors, and take the turn that makes your chest feel like a room with windows, not a box with air holes. I'll be a few miles ahead, grateful for whichever courage you pick. Story 2. Send the hard text. You are staring at the unsent bubble like it might explode if your thumb gets near it. You've drafted a paragraph, then a manifesto, then nothing. Rage writes quickly. Regret edits forever. Dear you, this is not a closing argument, and not a performance piece. It's a bridge with 4 planks. Walkable, repeatable, human. Type the opening like a steering wheel pointed forward. I want us to work well. First plank, an observation without accusation. At Friday's stand-up, the joke about my deadlines landed hard for me. No mind reading, no you always. Second plank, impact you own. I felt small and lost the thread for the rest of the meeting. You are testifying about your nervous system and your work. Both are valid data. Third plank, a specific request you could measure. Can we keep critiques task-focused and take timeline concerns? Want one after. Not be nice. Not respect me. Containers, not vibes. Fourth plank, an invitation that faces the future, open to talk. Tuesday works. I'll start with where I've slipped to. Send it while your hands are kind. Anger is a brilliant highlighter. Keep what it marked, then take the marker from its hand. You're not trying to win. You're trying to make good work possible without swallowing yourself. If a clean apology arrives, accept it plainly, and propose a ritual to keep the change sturdy. If either of us feels off in a meeting, quick heads up afterward. If deflection shows up, you're too sensitive. Keep your feet planted in behavior. I'm not against jokes. This pattern hurts focus. I'm asking for this specific change. Document neutrally. Escalate discreetly only if needed. Guard your humanity like it's part of the deliverable. It is. Notice your own shadows in the same light. Where did you sigh as a weapon? Where did sarcasm splash on the wrong person? Name it without a theater of guilt. I did this. It wasn't fair. Mutuality is not surrender. It's good engineering. After the talk, send a 2-sentence recap. Thanks for discussing. Stand-ups stay task-focused. Timeline issues go 1.1 after. I'll watch my sarcasm. Let's check in next Friday. You just installed a guardrail. Guardrails don't eliminate cliffs. They turn disasters into recoverable skids. Do not let conflict colonize your week. Step outside. Call the friend who makes you laugh like a goose. Make something with your hands that isn't a point. Remember that your value is not notarized by anyone else's calendar. The text you fear is not a bomb. It's a bridge. Bridges feel wobbly when they're new. Walk across while the boards are still warm from your courage. Then look back and notice. The distance is smaller now. And so is the fear. Story 3. Walk without headphones. Your hand finds the earbuds the way muscle memory finds a railing in the dark. Noise feels safer than the world's unscripted soundtrack. Today, pocket them. Give your city the dignity of its original audio. Name 5 sounds before the first crosswalk. Shoelace whisper, bus sigh, a pigeon's scandalized wing beat, somebody's belly laugh, your breath doing quiet arithmetic. Attention isn't a vibe, it's a muscle. and the street is a free gym. Billboards shrink to paper when you walk like a witness. Trees propose their own agenda. A storefront cat performs doubt. Then, against character, approves you. At the corner, you feel the reflex to check a feed. Replace it with a question your eyes can ask. Show me what I would have missed. The answer is a chalk hopscotch surviving last night's rain. A kid correcting their parents' math on the price of peaches. A woman with orange shoes timing her steps to the blinking hand. A man in a cobalt jacket tells a stranger, "Great color." And a conversation grows where algorithms can't garden. Halfway down the block, you remember you own a body, not a brand. Ideas you've been strangling start to breathe because your ears stopped auditioning to be filled. The problem that rode out with you becomes 20% smaller simply by being carried in both hands instead of stuffed under a soundtrack. A sparrow steals bread like it paid rent, and you grin because the line writes itself when the world is allowed to speak first. A delivery driver asks for directions and thanks you with eye contact, the rarest currency. A cyclist apologizes for almost clipping your shoulder. You accept it with a nod that says we are both still learning how to share space. For 3 blocks, you practice a quiet consent with the world. It offers. You accept or decline, and you keep going. By the river, you sit on a sun-warmed bench and listen to water practice permanence. Your phone vibrates like a toddler insisting on being seen. You give it a snack of airplane mode and watch it learn to self-soothe. 10 minutes later, the sentence you needed surfaces intact. No heroic productivity hack, just a walk without headphones. On the way back, you pass a cafe you've ignored for a year because its sign is too plain. Inside, the coffee is kind, and the barista spells your name right without asking. You think, maybe wonder isn't rare. Maybe I was noisy. When you get where you were going, the meeting is the same shape, but the room is different because you are. You speak 1 sentence less and mean 2 sentences more. After, you put the earbuds back in your pocket like a promise. Later, not never, but not now. Now belongs to your life, which has been waiting all morning for you to listen. Story 4. Keep the promise. You made to you. You keep exquisite promises to everyone else. Deadlines like iron rails, favors remembered, birthdays stitched to your calendar with bright thread, while the promises you make to yourself slip through the grate like coins you'll never see again. Tonight, pick a promise that fits in a teacup. 10 push-ups after brushing your teeth. 2 pages before email. A glass of water before coffee. Say it out loud to make it real. I will. Then cheat on willpower by designing the scene to help you keep it. Put the book on the keyboard so tomorrow cannot begin without moving it. Lay the mat on the bathroom floor so you have to step over your intention to ignore it. Set the glass beside the kettle like a friend waiting on your better choice. Keep it once, and don't escalate. That's the trap. Upgrading a kept promise into a bigger one you'll fail. Repeat instead. Repetition is devotion without a stage. Watch how small, faithful acts begin to rewire the quiet part of your self-respect. Confidence trickles in without applause. Shame backs away like weather. When you miss a day, practice repair, not penance. Professionals restring violins quickly and calmly. They don't deliver a monologue about failure to the audience. Say, I'm back, and be back. The point is not a streak that flatters your ego. It's a relationship that survives interruptions. Write your promise where your future sees it at the right time. Context beats memory. A sticky note on the mirror is louder at 7 a.m. than any vow made at midnight. Add a micro-ritual to lock it in. A palm pressed to your chest after the push-ups. A pencil line in the margin after 2 pages. A soft, good job you don't make fun of. Your nervous system listens to tone before content. Be gentle if you have to choose between impressing strangers and not disappointing yourself. Choose yourself and watch the room recalibrate. People trust those who are trustworthy to themselves. It reads in the posture. At night, keep a ledger of keps. I stopped at 8. I did. I called Mom instead of scrolling. I did. I forgave myself by bedtime. Clumsy, but I did. These are bricks. Brick by brick, you are building a house where your word to you is a door that opens, not a sign that lies. On harder weeks, scale the promise down before it breaks. 2 push-ups instead of 10. 1 paragraph instead of 2 pages. A sip instead of a glass. Shrunk promises count when the alternative is none. Any motion you can keep is better than a heroic gesture you abandon. One day this won't feel like effort. It will feel like identity. You'll be the kind of person who can say, I will, and then does, quietly, repeatedly, until the doing becomes part of your name. Story 5. Introduce yourself. First rooms are jungles of hesitation. Everyone is waiting for someone else to certify the water is safe. Be the certification. Walk in without theater, shoulders down, and go first. I'm name. First time here. I brought cake. Offer one human sentence before any job title. Something small enough to touch. I finally fixed my bike brake. I'm learning to like olives. The point is not charm. It's permission. You're showing the room how to be a room. Ask about interests before roles. What small thing has been strangely great this week? Unlocks faster than, what do you do? Titles stack people into ladders. Interests arrange them around a table. If you're hosting, plant conversational seeds near the cups on index cards. A tiny hill you'll die on. A skill you admire because you're bad at it. If you're not hosting, offer the quiet job. Doors, dishes, playlists, chairs. The first kindness is the skeleton key. Find the person scrolling their phone like it might save them. Stand nearby without cornering. Comment on the light, the music, the fact that the plants look too healthy to be real. I'm name, by the way. If they retreat, let them. Consent is also kindness. If they stay, ask a follow-up that doesn't interrogate. Would you sit by a window or a wall? People answer preferences more easily than biography, and preferences become biography if you listen long enough. When you leave, send 2 follow-ups before names evaporate. 1. Thanks. Specific and tiny. You changed my mind about olives. 2. A link or photo you mentioned. Here's the recipe. You're not collecting contacts, you're collecting contexts. Soft ropes you can throw across gaps when life yawns open. Months from now, the best collaborator you have will be someone you greeted with a dumb joke about napkins, because you went first. If stage fright snarls, script a 3-line entry in your pocket. Greeting, human sentence, question. Rotate it until it's muscle. Notice how rooms bend toward the person who offers the first harmless risk. This isn't charisma, it's service. You're not dazzling, you're making a place. Story 6. The 20-minute reset. Your future morning is calling collect. Accept the charges. Set a timer for 20 and become a gentle storm. This is not a deep clean. It's an orchestra tune-up. Start with surfaces. Sweep everything unrelated into one tomorrow tray, so counters can breathe. Hit the sink until it shines enough to stop whispering your name while you sleep. Lay out the clothes you'd choose if you were already the person you want to be. Staging beats willpower at 6:40 a.m. Pack a bag like you love the human who will pick it up. You do. Halfway through, you'll be ambushed by the urge to fix your entire life. Let it pass like a bus you're not taking. Stay with the list. Surfaces, sink. Staging, bag, kettle. Put your keys by the door, your shoes pointed outward. Your umbrella, where rain cannot pretend to surprise you. Add one future kindness. Fill the water bottle. Portion the coffee. Write the 3-line note your morning brain will treat like a lighthouse. The one thing that must happen. The first next step. The treat you'll earn when you stop. Place it on your keyboard like a faithful interruption. When the timer chimes, stop, even mid-fold. Closure is a muscle you train by honoring the bell. Turn off a few lights so the house looks like it's exhaling. Tomorrow you'll wake inside a room that says, "I was expecting you." Your day won't be perfect. It will be possible. Possibility is the oxygen that perfection steals. On brutal nights, do the micro reset. 5 minutes, 2 moves. Clear the sink. Lay out clothes. Minimum viable mercy. On abundant nights, add a third. Send one email your morning would dread. Hit send, then place your phone in another room. Give your sleep the full stage. Screens are loud understudies. Do this for a week, and watch how your mornings change shape. You'll argue less with time. You'll treat decisions like dominoes lined the night before. Touch the first, and the rest fall toward your favor. 20 minutes is a time machine you build nightly. Step inside. Deliver yourself to tomorrow with the dignity of a door that opens easily. Story 7. Take the small trip. You are holding joy hostage until it can justify the ransom of a passport stamp. Release it. Pack an overnight bag for a town you've driven past without naming. One good bakery, a second-hand bookstore, a lake that greets you like a dog. Small trips are precise surgery. They remove the story that wonder is expensive. Buy a local train ticket. Sit where the window hums. Let your phone lose interest in you. Read half of a paperback that's lived on your shelf longer than some friendships. Write a postcard to future you, with one sentence you'd be glad to read later. You were softer by Saturday. When you arrive, check into a room that smells like soap and possibility. Walk until your shoulders lower without permission. Order something that tastes like someone cared about salt. Find the bookstore and ask the clerk, what do you press into the hands of people who think they're too busy to read? Say yes to their eyes before their answer. Keep one scene selfishly unphotographed. A glare on the water. The cat in the door. The way the baker says, "Here you are," like they mean you. Let the moment belong to the moment. In the morning, take coffee too slowly. List the names of 5 colors you can see before listing any obligations you owe. If you're with someone, practice a silence that means, "I like you." If you're alone, practice a silence that means, "I like me." On the ride home, write 3 souvenirs that weigh nothing. A line, a smell, a decision. The lake smelled like pennies and pine. I will schedule light like work. I am permitted a life I can afford in an afternoon. Back by Sunday night, the week looks less predatory. You carry bakery kindness into Tuesday's meeting, lake permission into Thursday's deadline, your own company into rooms that used to feel too loud. Tiny distances repair big distances. especially the gap between you and your life. Story 8. Bring a real cake. When you show up, don't bring performative scarcity, a bag of chips and an apology shaped like a shrug. Bring proof that you meant to come, a real cake, imperfect icing, parchment wrinkled like a map. Hospitality beats performance every time. Set it down without ceremony and cut the first slice yourself. Generosity that starts moving invites others to move. Ask whose birthday was undersung this month and sing off key on purpose. If you can't bake, bring soup in a jar, a salad that respects salt, a plate of fruit cut like an altar to vitamin C. The rule is weight, something the table can feel. People taste intention. It's richer than flawless fondant. Offer to leave the plate behind. Write your name on the bottom, so it finds its way home in 3 months, with a note tucked inside. Your cake made Wednesday feel like we invented it. While the shiny extroverts orbit, take the loyal job. Wash pans, dry glasses, wipe counters with a rag that admits it's already lived. Parties coronate charisma. Sinks crown loyalty. Be the person who leaves a kitchen better than they found it. Invitations multiply around those who make rooms easier to maintain. If you're shy, let the cake introduce you. I'm Name. It's messy, but it's butter. People laugh, and a conversation begins where perfection would have made only a pose. Notice how your crooked frosting performs a tiny rebellion against the culture of untouched. Humans exhale around evidence that effort was human. On your way out, wrap a piece for the hosts tomorrow. Label it with a marker. Breakfast. Mercy that arrives the next day is the kind people remember. Story 9. Say the true thing. Kindly. Truth is a sharp tool. Use a sheath. Begin with the bridge. I care about us, so I want to say this plainly. Then choose the smallest true thing that still matters. Small truths travel farther. When plans cancel day of, I feel like a placeholder. Skip the prosecutor's adverbs. Always. Never. Offer a forward path. Could we set a rule? If we're unsure by noon, we reschedule? Then open your hands. What landed hard for you? Ask and wait. Silence is the third participant. Don't rush it out. If tears come, yours or theirs, treat them as data, not drama. If anger flares, lower your volume and shorten your sentences. Clarity survives at smaller sizes. The aim is repair that can handle next Tuesday, not victory that scorches the field. If you realize mid-sentence where you went wrong, say it. I also did X, and that wasn't fair. Mutuality doesn't dilute truth. It carries it. When the talk ends, mark the repair in writing. Love you. New rule noted. Keep receipts only as recipes. How to cook honesty next time, not as exhibits in a future trial. On nights you'd rather swallow it, remember. Resentment is honesty without an exit. Build a door. Speak one kindness bigger than your complaint, and then speak the complaint. You can be clear without being cruel. You will sleep better in a bed you didn't burn. Story 10. Start a Bright Spots journal. Your mind is Velcro for problems and Teflon for good. Rewire it with evidence, not slogans. Each night, capture 3 bright spots. Not grand, just true. 1 sentence each. The barista spelled my name right without asking. I asked one good question, and the meeting ended 10 minutes early. The fridge light made the kitchen look like forgiveness. Add 1 line of credit assignment. What did I do that helped this happen? I smiled with my eyes. I prepared. I paused. This isn't toxic positivity. It's accurate accounting. After a week, patterns begin. You are more alive before noon sunlight. Your best conversations happen when your phone is face down. Tuesdays bloom if Monday night got a 20-minute reset. Schedule more of what proves you to yourself. On bad nights, borrow a bright spot from yesterday, the way neighbors borrow sugar. On good nights, write one for tomorrow, a planted promise. I will notice the first bird I hear. Keep the journal within reach of bed with a pen that writes tired. Let unfinished days end anyway. You're not chiseling commandments. You're catching light before it escapes. After a month, flip back and see that your life is not a barren field between crises. There are constellations you were too busy to chart. Name them. Navigate by them the next time the sky goes out. What you count counts. What you praise stays. And what you write down, briefly, nightly, will teach your attention to be your ally. This is not a diary of triumphs. It's training for sight. You will start walking through days like a person who expects to find the usable good, and people who expect to find it usually do.